it's me, Krista. Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. If not, welcome for the very first time to my little art corner here on YouTube. Today is day 11 of Inktober. We've made it over a third of the way. Yay! Today's prompt is snow. This prompt was one of the easier ones for me to come up with an idea. I just decided that I wanted to do a creepy looking snowman. So I made a creepy looking snowman. I am again using the toned blue Strathmore mixed media paper. I am using a Zebra Del Guard mechanical pencil to get the sketch in. The mechanical pencil is 0.5 lead and I'm pretty sure it's HB lead. For this one I did want it to feel kind of silly and have an almost cartoonish quality to it. I just wanted to play around and have fun. Don't really draw snowmen very often. I think the last time I did was for some volunteering I did in high school at the local library. They had me do a lot of the kids' art project and signage stuff. So it's been a minute since I've done a snowman. We'll just leave it at that. I do wonder how many people did very pretty snowflake drawings for this one. I will have to wait and find out. I'll have to go through Instagram later and look. For this one, I am outlining the pencil sketch that I just did. I'm just using a Pentel Art Hybrid Technica 4mm pin, a black gel pen, basically. This one does not come up when it's dry if you go over it with water-based media. I have liked using this more recently for pieces where I actually do decide to do the outline before filling in the shading. I always change my mind about what step I want to do that in. It's never a set process for me. Do you guys always get the outline in first before you do any shading or coloring, or do you get the shading or coloring in first and then go over it for an outline? Or is it like me and it just depends on the project and whatever mood you're in at that moment in time? Let me know in that comment section down below. I already love this guy's face. He looks like some kind of cartoon villain. Some snowman villain. At this point, I'm just erasing the pencil sketch that I had there to begin with. I'm using a Faber-Castell dust-free eraser for this. It's just a green one, and it limits the amount of dust that gets on the actual drawing. I really like it. It erases well. Now I'm going in with some Speedball white acrylic ink to get in some of the lighter sections of this snowman. I am applying it with a water brush. The Speedball ink has been lasting me pretty well. I'm surprised. I thought I'd have to bust into the backup ink I bought already. It's a 0.4 floral ounces one, and it's a pretty small jar, but this is my 11th Inktober project, and I've been using it with other stuff too. I thought it would be gone by now. Good job, ink. Good job. Especially considering I overpoured on my palette a couple times and did not use all of it. The fact that you are still around is pretty impressive. I got this white ink and the black ink in the August sketch box, and I'm apparently really enjoying them because I've been using them a lot since I got them. I also really like that Caran d'Ache water brush. I like the fact that the back is a syringe pool, so when you are getting water into the container section, you just have to put it in a cup of water or even in a sink that has water and just pull the syringe style thing back and you just press it down when you want to get more water through. It's an easy way to use it. It's not like some of the other ones where I at least struggle with it. Other people probably don't. I just have issues. But I can use this one. So I have one that works well for me. Yay. I also am not just drawing the snowman and having him float in the air. There is a snowy foreground area where I am putting a bunch of squiggly white lines to insinuate snowdrifts. I also will have a black sky area. Here I start bringing in the black ink and using it to add some darker shading sections and to start a little bit of line work. Soft line work that will be fixed later with a different item. I am using the same water brush. I do not have more than one that I've been using on these projects. I've just been cleaning it off in between the colors by dipping it in a cup of water to get the excess ink out of the tip. I should theoretically be using 2 different water brushes, but I would get them mixed up anyway, so it's easier just to use the same one and clean it off in between. There were a couple of instances where I went next to the wet spots that I already have going on a little too soon, so some of the shading bled into each other. I was able to fix a lot of that with just wiping it up with an old t-shirt. You can use a washcloth, a paper towel. You can pull up a little bit of that extra pigment with doing simple things like that. I'm going to emphasize this on my channel, which I feel like I do a lot. You're going to make mistakes. You gotta learn how to deal with the mistakes and use some problem-solving skills to see if you can fix it in the same piece or if you have to start over. I say 90% of the time you can fix it within the same piece just by thinking about it and problem-solving. A lot of the time you can fix it while you're still working on it. It's very rare that it completely screws up the entire thing and you have to start from scratch again. It does happen, but it's rare. Here I am deepening up that background. I was originally going to leave it gray, but I decided it needed to be super black, because that's how I roll. It ended up working out really well because it created a lot of contrast between the background and the snowman. It made it stand out a lot more. Also, I was able to do dots that could be snow. So, it worked out. I think if I would have left the background just the color of the paper, it wouldn't have worked quite as well. I do want to point out, you will see me doing this a lot with this project and with a lot of them. I use my finger to blend a lot more than I probably should. Oil and water-based media do not always get along well. I've never had any issues when I smudge it, really, with my finger. It gets the effect I want it to, but I know with a lot of people, they will have the issue where it can mess it up pretty good. So maybe don't do that. Or try it and see what happens. I'm starting to add in some of the darker colors with the ink and my water brush. I'm going to get some texturing in the snow and whatnot. And this isn't even with the markers pulled in again yet. This is just me texturizing with the regular black ink with a water brush. I also realized while I was doing this that I never have really drawn anything seriously using snow. I've done a couple of snowmen, like I said, during volunteer time at the kids section of my local library, but that was just more of a line drawing with some colored pencil colors, just smooth shading. I've never really done it where I attempt to bring a little bit of texture of what snow actually looks like. So at this point, I am mostly stippling with the white Posca pen for some extra highlights and a white gel pen for smaller highlights. And for some of the highlights I add in with the Posca pen, I do soften them up by using my finger. Just dab it. Even though his arms aren't filled in, he is starting to come together with every dot I make. He ended up being cuter than I think I initially wanted him to. But that's a-okay. Can't make everything serious, contemplative, or terrifying. Gotta get some cute stuff in every once in a while. Just don't expect it every time. Here I'm bringing in that same Kuretake marker that I've been using, the one where I don't know what the model is, but I like it. It's all in Japanese. I just know it works pretty well for what I want. I'm just going over a lot of the lines with that, and apparently I'm pulling in a white gel pen to bring in more highlights. I wanted the hat to stand out a little bit more against the background. So that's why that's happening now. There will be more definitive black lines eventually. And also, the arms will not just be gray. I always have this habit of jumping between materials. I don't necessarily do stuff in a specific order. It's very impulsive as I go. Like, wait, this needs to go here. Let's do this. For his arms, I start going in again with the black gel pen that I mentioned earlier and just doing little lines. I also bring in the thicker marker to help outline the outside and to add extra shading in certain areas. And I also pull in the white gel pen to pull highlights out to make it stand out a little bit more in certain sections. Also, I use the white Posca pen for the description of what I said for the white gel pen. We're just jumping around between the different materials and playing with it until it looks okay. I do also use the black gel pen to bring in smaller, messier shading lines. Just some finer ones. Wanted to add a little bit more depth. Now I'm working on the other arm. With the black gel pen and the white one, and then we'll bring in the black marker. Just going between all the supplies until we get something that looks semi-A-okay. Doing these videos reminds me of why I used to always tell people, no, I do not want to be an art teacher. I'd be very, very bad at it. Because of course that was always the option that was brought up. Oh, you like art? Why don't you teach it? I'm not good at teaching people stuff, so no. Not for me. I appreciate all the people who have the patience to do that for a living. I can just draw stuff, poorly explain what I'm doing, and explain at least part of the thought process that I may have had at that moment in time. And I promise it will be explained poorly. It's the KLoganArt guarantee. For the background, I already went over the loose black ink with the marker, and then with the black gel pen, I am doing it as well to make it deeper and to add a little bit more texture. Texture is the word of the day every day as of late. The final touch I do is use the white gel pen to add dots in the background to look a little bit like snow. Just very sloppy ones, not trying to do any patterning or even have them look like perfect little circles, attempting to look like snow. So yeah, at this point, this video is pretty much done. Just a couple extra dots happening. And here comes a photo of the finished project, so you can get a better idea of what it looks like. Day 11 of Inktober is finished. If you liked this video, please feel free to hit that like button. If you have any comments, questions, feelings, or concerns, or you want to let me know how you are doing this Inktober and what you've been making and what you've been using, let me know in that comment section down below. If you want to see more videos like this, please feel free to subscribe. I do want to sincerely thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day or night to watch this video and listen to me ramble about art stuff. I am looking forward to hearing from you guys soon. You will definitely be hearing from me soon. Bye, everybody!